Hi there. Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Catherine up in Canada. It's just a little quickie, a little Friday quickie, but it's still a little bit of my day, so welcome. I thought I'd show you what I've been working on this morning. If you recall from my thrift haul the other day, this is my pathetic little piece of plastic that I've been using to create my faux cellophane tape. And it's time for me to bid it farewell, adieu, auf Wiedersehen, and all that stuff. So it's gone. And if you recall, I got a frame at my thrift store for 25 cents. So I checked it out. It's wood. It can be recycled. This can be recycled. I don't want it. I'm going to keep the chipboard that was in the back. That will make great in the middle for like 2 nano bookmarks, things like that. So it's going into my little basket that I keep back there of file folders, cardstock kind of things, chipboard of various sizes depending on what I need and what I can use up. Now, if you recall yesterday, we talked about my old cutting board for when I use X-Acto blades and how I had made myself a new one. And I'm really enjoying the book repair tape. If you can see it in there, it says book repair tape. Got it on Amazon. You can get it in different colors. Not very many colors. I think there was red and blue and black. I think that was the choices. So I grabbed black. And it does the trick, and it feels a little bit nicer than this is. As duct tape, they say duct tape fixes everything, but it only fixes it for a little while. Now, who knows? This is still an experiment as well, so I don't know. Part of me's not ready to get rid of this yet, so I'm just putting them aside for now. It's just who I am. And I got a head start on the glass for my new cellophane tape, my new yellowed cellophane tape, faux cellophane tape. So I'm hoping you can see here what I've done. I still have a little row left that I thought we could do together. You're seeing the reflection in my window there. Oh, you can see, oh, that's my plant. I thought it was the top of Dougie Gilmore. Anyhow, some people, when they make their cellophane tape, they simply will put long strips and they cut what they need, and that works for them. For me, part of what I enjoy about cellophane tape, and you need the clear kind. See how that's, it's the clear, shiny kind. I find it at dollar stores all the time. It's not the kind that goes invisible. This is the shiny stuff. See that? But I like doing it in little pieces because I like the little jagged edge that the little blade gives. So to each his own. I'm not saying the other is wrong. I'm just saying this is what I like. And plus I like being able to peel off different sizes. And you'll notice I don't push it down really hard. And there's a few reasons why. The number one reason is you got to be able to get it off. And if you do that, trust me, you will rue the day. Don't you love saying that? But I've also found that the little bubbles, and if you've got wrinkles, I don't know if you can see, there's bubbles and wrinkles and such from when look at that one there, from when I laid it down. And that actually helps pool little bubbles for the alcohol ink to really make a mucky mess. And it just, again, gives it character. And I'm trying to find what brushes I've used previously for alcohol ink. It will stain your brush, but on the other hand, it simply stains your brush. So don't worry if it stains your brush. If you've rinsed your brush and you rinse it again with alcohol, for those areas where you can't, some countries you can't buy rubbing alcohol off the shelf. You need a doctor's prescription, and in that case, use vodka. Don't use gin. Gin's delicious. I remember gin prior to PBC. Anyhow, I'm just joking, but vodka will work. Get cheap vodka. It's mostly alcohol. It will work. Now, hold on. I'm going to pause and go get my alcohol inks. All right, so I have this little bin of some inks. That's not alcohol ink. That's regular ink. Here's alcohol ink. I got my alcohol ink. There's my wax. That's water. I wonder why I have water in there. I use these all the time for little pieces. If I just want to do one little piece. There. That's alcohol ink. Oh, clear nail polish. Clear nail polish is fantastic when you want a tiny little thing shiny or sealed. Clear nail polish. Go to your dollar store, get the cheap stuff. It's terrific. And as you've seen before, that's what I use to seal my rusty things like rusty paper clips, rusty bulldog clips, that sort of thing. I just use clear nail polish, and I have a relaxing day with my clear nail polish. So these particular colors I find all work very well, and you can buy them together. That elastic is on there because I used to use a tiny little brush, and sometimes I still do. Here it is. As ever, I don't like long, what's the word, handle? I was going to say stick on brushes, and I tend to snap my wooden brushes in half. So I was just keeping it attached to the bottle. Anyhow, so just in case you're wondering, this one is latte, this one is caramel, this one is ginger, and you can buy them in a kit of 3. I believe you still can get it. Tim Holtz hasn't seemed to discontinue this the way he has discontinued his distress inks. I can only find oxide inks now, not the distress inks. And I know I've gone on a rant before, but I do not like the oxide inks at all. Because I don't work with waters. So the oxide ink, you have to seal it. It's icky. So I'm going to do an experiment here, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. And I'm just going to make a mucky mess using several of these colors. I have found that quite often actual old cellophane tape is a nice pale yellow. But I find that when we create our faux cellophane tape with these kinds of inks, they're still fun looking. And I have seen some really dark, ugly cellophane tape. So they're not far off. And they're close enough to be fun and add a little bit of character to our junk journals. So I'm just going to play around. You know what? I better write myself a note so I know which one is which. That's Ginger's lid. You can't even see what I'm doing up there, but I'm taking the lids off and writing the name so that when I'm done, I can put the correct name back on it. This is Caramel. And then this one will be Latte. I don't mind writing on, this is an old file folder that I've opened up just so that it's easier for you to see what I'm working on rather than my mucky desk. So we're just going to get in here, get started. By the time I'm done, my fingers are going to look like I've smoked 2 packs of cigarettes. And I'm okay with that. I earned a living as a hairstylist for many years, and my fingers usually at the end of the day looked like that because I never bothered, and I should have, to put gloves on when I would be opening up foils to check and see. So I'm just going to start doing some, that's Latte. And then what I find is, because it wants to start drying quickly, so don't do too much at once, because it'll dry on you. But I like to get underneath those little bumps, and see, it's trying to dry there. Underneath those little bumps that the edges of the tear edge on the paintbrush has done. Now, don't be tempted to go over it too much because it will you'll actually ruin it. And then you end up having to clean it up and start all over again. So just start working on your other areas. Doesn't take a whole lot of stuff to do. It. So I've had these bottles for years. And if you want to make them last even longer, just mix in a little alcohol into it. And it will extend your alcohol ink. See what I mean by the bumps, and that make really cool. Just give it a little bit of character. And then just getting the ink underneath the underneath those little bumpy edges that your tape. Where did my tape go? Did I put it away? I did. Figures I cleaned up. The tear edge makes. And I'm going to experiment. Now, which one was darker? I think ginger was darker. I'm just going to put a few little drops here and there and just see what it does when it dries. See if that looks cool. Yeah. Okay, I like it. Let's try that with a different color down here. Yeah. Now, here's another thing that I have found, because you're probably thinking that you're seeing pools of alcohol ink here and there, and you are. I have found that once the alcohol evaporates, the tape stays sticky, and it's almost like latte. Oh my, ever glad I labeled that. It's almost as if it's like when, have you ever done that cool little trick where you put the packing tape over an old piece of like a dictionary or that, and then you soak it in water and you peel off the paper and the image remains on the packing tape, and the tape stays sticky even though it's been soaking in water. And I find that that's what also happens when this finally will dry, when the alcohol ink evaporates. Doesn't take too long, and your tape will still be sticky. Now for me, ginger. For me, if it's if I'm using the tape that I think is going to be in a really high traffic position, that's going to be maybe bending a lot, that sort of thing, I will reinforce it with a bit of glue. I will often use 3-in-1. Do it carefully. It's got acetone, and if you get it on the top part, you can lose your alcohol ink, because right now I could spray this all over here and take that off. Alcohol, clear alcohol, will clean off. Wow, we did okay. Oh look, a squirrel. Wow, I don't have to tell my husband I wasn't smoking all day. Not that I smoke, but you know, it's still fun. Hey honey, I wasn't smoking all day. So it's good to keep in mind, if you think it's going to be in a high traffic area, you think you want to reinforce your faux cellophane tape with glue, I suggest use 3-in-1 because it will hold anything down, and this is cellophane, it's not paper. Put your 3-in-1 on the paper and then peel off your cellophane tape and put it down. Don't push too hard. Your finger will wipe off even the dried alcohol. That comes in handy if you decide these are too dark and you don't like them. You can literally wipe your finger on it and it will come, some of it will come off and it will lighten the color of the alcohol ink. But I think you will find, if you're like me, this will be really, really cool, and it will do the trick. and make your journals just that much more fun, authentic looking. When we can't use the real thing, the real kind of ephemera, we can make our faux ephemera, and it's still fun. So this paintbrush that I've used, first of all, it's from Dollarama. You can buy the packages that are like 10 paintbrushes in one. And for things like alcohol and glue and that's the only kind of brush I use. I do not use my expensive sable watercolor brushes on for glue and gesso and alcohol ink. In fact, I keep them in a bag in my closet so that I'm not even tempted. If I've run out of brushes, because eventually the acetone or the alcohol, the bristles will start coming out. It's a dollar store. If I find I've run out of paintbrushes, which is highly unlikely because I keep myself well stocked. But when I do, a Q-tip will work, or a piece of cloth will work, a little piece of cotton will work, or a cotton swab will work, or one of those little flat makeup remover pads. Those will work as well in a pinch. But for this kind of work, I find a paintbrush gets the job done fast before your alcohol starts trying to dry on you, and then you make a mess and have to clean it all up. So when I'm done, I will clean this off just using a little of the here, I'll put this here. I'll just use a little of this, and figures I don't have a that'll end up looking cool. I'm just going to leave it with in my little container. Wonder if I can. There we go. All right, that's better. In you go. So there we go. A little sunny side quickie to make your Friday go faster. If you get the weekend off, then you know that Fridays we just plug way through it to get to Saturday and Sunday. And if you're a shift worker, well then, you know what? I hear ya. I worked salons. So if we weren't in the salon on the weekend, for me, I was usually privately booking weddings and doing wedding hair on weekends, which actually I loved. So it didn't feel like work. It was nice to get paid afterwards, but it really didn't feel like work. That was my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world, was wedding hair. Some hairstylists don't like doing wedding hair. It's very stressful for them, and dealing with a bride that's under stress, and it's such an important day. And for me, I would just mom on that bride, and I think my calmness and that just sort of, we got through it, and I'd get pictures afterwards, and it was just, it was my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world, wedding hair. Next to grade 8 grad hair. Love grade 8 grad hair, because when they're in grade 8 or 8th grade, depending on where you live, usually it's their first time, at least in Canada, it's their first time getting their hair done fancy for an important occasion. And they're just so cute. By the time they're in high school, some of them can be a little bit snooty, a little bit of attitude, but for the most part, I get through it, and we end up having fun. But the grade 8s, oh, Mwah! I can love on those grade 8s as much as I love on those brides and even their bridesmaids. But there's always one bridesmaid that wishes it was her day, and I've learned to do her hair first and get her out of the way. I could give you secrets. Oh my goodness. It's true what they say about what people tell bartenders and hairdressers. We really should have our a sign that says "and psychologist" up on the up on our signs on our license. Okay, I've really gone off topic. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Say hi down below. Hit like, hit subscribe. You know what to do. But especially say hi. I'll say hi back at you. And I'll give you a little wave if you want. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.